What up, what up? Welcome back to this YouTube channel. On this channel, we demystify the world for you so that you can reach your full potential as a creator, as a business owner, as someone who's trying to bring something new into the world to ethically dominate a niche sector or an industry and to impact the world for the positive. So if this sounds like something like you are interested in, first of all, go and check out some of my other videos out there on YouTube. I've been in this industry since 2012, producing a podcast, the Crowdfunding Demystified Podcast, where I interview people every single week when it comes to raising funds successfully on Kickstarter and Indiegogo. But in specifically today's video, what I wanted to get into is the actual duration for an Indiegogo campaign. What is the ideal duration? And what are some of the things you should know about the Indiegogo platform that's actually different than Kickstarter that really, if you don't know this, you're just missing out. So I want to talk about this in today's YouTube video, and it's coming up in just a second. All right, man, welcome back to this channel. Whether you've been watching me for a couple of months, a couple of weeks, or a couple of years, I hope that you're getting a lot of value out of this channel when it comes to moving your ideas forward. A lot of the times our ideas just kind of die on our lips or on our fingertips or in just napkin form, right? We have a great idea and we don't really do anything with it. And my greatest wish is that not only do you plow through those obstacles which are holding you back, but also armed with these tactics and strategies and resources and tools that I'm sharing on this channel, on my podcast, the Crowdfunding Demystified Podcast, through my books, my courses, my programs, etc., that you actually go out there and are able to actually achieve some of these incredible dreams which you have. So when it comes to Indiegogo, and that's really the topic of today's video, it's a little bit different than the platform which is Kickstarter. So Indiegogo is obviously one of the crowdfunding platforms out there which you can use to raise money for many different types of projects and creative ventures. Now, when it comes to doing an Indiegogo campaign, one of the requirements of doing an Indiegogo campaign is you gotta have a funding duration for that campaign. And you're probably wondering, what is the ideal duration in which I should be raising money? And maybe you've been actually hunting for this online because honestly, if you pick the wrong duration, it can have very negative effects when it comes to your crowd, the crowd that you've built up or the crowd that you're announcing this to when it comes to your project. And this is something, my friend, that you gotta get right. Because if you don't get it right, again, you're gonna cause a lot of negativity, a lot of people that are unhappy, they might not fund your project, they might not share it online, and it's gonna be a massive, massive failure. So you don't wanna have that happen. So the first thing I'm gonna talk about are some of the issues that go into selecting the actual duration for your campaign and what you should be aware of. The second is I'm gonna give you some recommendations and advice on what I recommend for the majority of people out there, depending on the type of project you have and also your goals. And lastly, some of the new functionality that you can actually use when it comes to an Indiegogo campaign, when it comes to your actual goal setting. And lastly, we'll finish this video off with some ways in which you can actually get started and you can get this campaign out there faster. So let's get started here. If you are excited, man, to get started, give me a thumbs up on this video. First of all, when it comes to setting that duration, there are a couple of things you should be in mind of. So the first thing you should sort of be on the top of your mind is the fact that you want to get urgency in the minds of your backers. The reason why is that when people feel a sense of urgency around a launch, around a campaign, around something new that's just coming out, they start to actually take action. So I've actually studied this a tremendous amount. I put this in my book, The Kickstarter Launch Formula, which is available on Amazon and Audible. And urgency is one of the #1 reasons why people take action when it comes to launches and crowdfunding. So the reason why we have a duration is that we want to have people have a sense of urgency. They're doing so many other things in their life. They're going out there and they're posting on Snapchat, on TikTok, they're taking videos, they're having lunch and dinner with their significant others, they're spending time with their kids, they're cleaning their room, they're working on their next project, their business idea. There's a lot of stuff in the minds of your backers, and you want your project to be #1, #2, or #3. And the only way to accomplish that is to have a sense of urgency behind your campaign. For example, when I was going to college at George Washington University, I was one of those people who I'd wait until like the last minute to write a research paper for my econ thesis, right? Or doing something like that. Wait for the last minute. When you feel a sense of urgency, you're willing to take a lot of action in a short span of time, and you also make a decision when there's a lot of urgency behind that decision. Now, I've had people who will take that point and then they'll launch a campaign on Indiegogo for like 7 days or 10 days. And I've seen this be successful. If you go back into the archives of my podcast, Crowdfunding Demystified, we actually have had guests who've literally had 7-day campaigns when it comes to crowdfunding. We've had other guests that have 14-day campaigns. I would say though, for the vast majority of people, that while having a very short campaign launch period, like 7 days, 15 days, etc., is incredible for urgency, there's also so much coordination that has to happen. So I usually don't recommend this as an option unless you have a team that you're working with behind the project. There's a specific tactical reason behind that short of a campaign in terms of maximum urgency. You have all of your ducks in a row when it comes to marketing and promotion. You really know what you're doing. If you're an advanced crowdfunder, I think it's great for you to do something like a 14-day launch sequence, and we can talk about that and kind of what goes into it, but it's a very intensive 14 days, okay? So if that's something that you're interested in, you can always learn more about that at the end of this YouTube video. But I'd say for the vast majority of people, I think this is a little bit too short because it doesn't give you a lot of leeway when it comes to marketing and promotion. And while it's great for urgency, it's also difficult when it comes to executing within that time frame. On the flip side, I then have coaching students and readers and viewers who will write in and be like, Sal, okay, here's your point when it comes to this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have a really long duration when it comes to my campaign. So the maximum duration that you can usually have when it comes to doing an Indiegogo campaign is around 60 days. So what they're gonna say is, I wanna keep the campaign open, I wanna keep the cart open for as long as possible so that I can market and promote the heck out of that campaign throughout the entire duration. I can get the maximum amount of funding, I can reach my goal, I can reach my potential, I can build a brand from scratch. What do you think about that, Sal? So first of all, I'll say, take a breath, right? It's great that you're excited about your idea, you're passionate, you're a really committed guy. But at the same time, it's very difficult to maintain that level of excitement and passion and enthusiasm in the mind of your backers over the course of 60 days. It's very hard to maintain what we call momentum. So the next reason why people back campaigns, or one of the more popular reasons, is because of momentum. And when you have momentum behind a campaign, it causes people to share this campaign online. It gets more people excited. It delivers social proof to the project. And people actually start to, who are strangers, back this project just because it has momentum and they want to be a part of a really cool crowdfunding campaign. So what I say is, if you're doing, for example, a 60-day campaign, the hard problem with that is that you can't maintain momentum very easily over the course of 60 days.
Want to take all the stress out of fulfilling your Kickstarter rewards? Fulfillrite is the turnkey solution that puts product delivery on autopilot. The Top Campaigns uses trusted high-tech provider to store, package, and ship their products. Focus on growing your business. Leave shipping to the experts. Don't wait. Get a custom quote from Fulfillrite today. Link in the description.
Now, I'm gonna have someone write in and be like, Sal, there are examples on your podcast, there are examples of people you've interviewed that go contrary to that. And I agree with you. There are people I've had on my show, there are people that I've coached in terms of students, there are people who have been successful having longer campaigns like 60 days and had the budget to do marketing, promotion, PR, advertising, influencers, etc. over the course of that 60 days. So you can do it, but for the average person, for the person out there who maybe this is their first or their second campaign, it's gonna be a lot of work and you're gonna need a budget to really execute on that kind of a strategy or plan. And for that reason, I usually don't recommend, on the flip side, more of like a 60-day campaign. So someone's probably listening to this and like, oh my gosh, Sal, okay, so you're telling me don't do a 7 to 14-day campaign, don't do a 60-day campaign, just tell me the Goldilocks formula, right? What's the just right amount when it comes to crowdfunding? So my answer is that if you wanna have this really good relationship between urgency and momentum, and you wanna make sure that you have a campaign that people are gonna show up at, they're gonna back, they're gonna be excited about, gives you enough time to market and promote that sucker, and also maintain momentum throughout the entire project, I would say that an ideal or a sort of a Goldilocks duration is gonna be likely between 20 to 25 days. And I'd say the maximum would be around 45 days. So 20 to 25, if you really have your ducks in a row. I would say 30 is the average or the median when it comes to campaigns that are being launched. If you wanna be in the average and median, 30 days. And then on the longer side, if you want more time to market and promote the project, 45 days. But again, it's gonna be another 2 weeks that you have to maintain momentum beyond average. So you have to be planning for that. You also have to be thinking about PR, influencers, media mentions, all those kinds of things. So at this point in the video, you have your answer in terms of the Goldilocks formula for launching a campaign in terms of duration. Now, if you want help with launching that campaign, if you wanna make sure you have all of your ducks in a row, if you do have some specific questions when it comes to your campaign, or you just wanna make sure that you not only hit your funding goal, but you also blow past it and you really raise the maximum amount. You're already putting in so much effort, attention, and energy and budget into launching a campaign. You wanna make sure it goes right. Go down below and you can book an intensive one-on-one individual coaching call with me. We can review your entire campaign strategy. We can get into all the tactics. We can go to what works in terms of your specific category and also the type of project which you're launching. And I can introduce you to other people in the industry. We also work selectively with certain campaigns if we do believe in it and we think it has really good potential. So if you're interested in learning more, go down below, book an individual intensive one-on-one coaching call with me at the link crowdcrux.com/coaching. We can discuss your project. I can give you some incredible action items, which you can then take action on. This is a really intensive experience. So if this is something you're serious about, go and check out that link down below. Now, I did mention that I wanted to also share with you some of the new functionality and some of the new announcements when it comes to Indiegogo, right? And sort of updating some of the other information which I've shared in the past when it comes to my YouTube videos. So the big thing now is that you can actually, if you want to, extend your Indiegogo campaign an unlimited number of times. Now, this might change in the future, so go and check out the rules, but at a limited number of times, you can actually extend your campaign. So this is like one and two way doors, right? So you have, for example, a door which you go through and you can't come back. This is one of the example of you can go through the door, you can come back, and you can change your decision. So if you are interested in launching a campaign, let's just say you choose the wrong duration. You maybe pick the wrong number of days, or you want to extend your campaign to go longer, or you have a lot of momentum because you do what I talk about in my individual coaching sessions. You do what I talk about when it comes to my book, The Kickstarter Launch Formula. You apply the tactics, they actually work. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this guy on YouTube. You're like, it actually worked, the stuff that he's talking about, right? You actually do it, it works. You have momentum. At that point in time, if you want to, you can extend your campaign. This is now new functionality, which you can actually do on Indiegogo, so you can extend the duration an unlimited number of times as long as you haven't hit the cap of 60 days. Now, here's the other secret that not a lot of other people are going to be sharing with you, which is the fact that you can have a really compelling campaign strategy. And I think that a really great strategy is actually one where you have an internal strategy and you have an external strategy. So you have kind of like the launch sequence, the marketing, the promotion, what you're going to be telling the crowd, right? And that's like, dude, that's the part that I love. That's my passion. I love marketing, promotion, driving traffic, getting numbers, right? Hitting targets. That's what I love to do, you know? It just like excites me even just thinking about it right now. But you then also have the internal strategy, okay? So you will have this marketing promotion strategy that you're sharing with your crowd, that you're sharing publicly. What happens if you get to the end of that campaign and you want to extend it even more? What you can do is you can go into Indiegogo In Demand, which is an in-demand program. And what you can announce is say, hey guys, we are extending the sale. We are extending the launch because of the incredible response. We followed this random YouTuber's Salvador Briggman's advice and it went really well, and we are extending the actual campaign duration or launch via the Indiegogo In Demand program. So you can enter the Indiegogo In Demand program if you have a successful campaign, and you can keep that sucker open for even another 30 days or longer. I've had actually students and clients that have been in the in-demand program for more than 30 days. And they just kind of keep it open almost as like an online store where they're just collecting more and more funding. And eventually they then decide to set up an online store via Shopify or Amazon or something like that. If you did not know about this, those two facts, number one, you're just missing out. Get access to better quality of education information. And that's what my mission is, to share that with you. And you don't necessarily have to pay for it. I also have a free course out there on Kickstarter, on Indiegogo. They're very similar in a lot of the ways when it comes to marketing and promotion. And I talk a lot about Kickstarter and also Indiegogo in this free course. If you want to learn more about that free course, and I'm actually be sharing some really great lessons on how to use AI to power your campaign, to assemble this sucker much faster than anyone else out there. You want that cutting edge when it comes to your campaign with crowdfunding. Go and check out my free course at crowdcrux.com/Kickstarter at the link down below in the description. As you can see, the answer of how long do Indiegogo campaigns last is a little bit complicated because it's different for every person. You know, some campaigns can be very short and they just end and that's it. Maybe you decide to extend your campaign, right? Which is a decision you can make. Maybe you decide after the campaign duration, let's say after 30 days, you go into Indiegogo In Demand and you continue it there. It's a very complicated, multivariate equation, but that's what I'm designed to, that's what I'm here for, man. I'm here to demystify the world, to demystify these complicated answers for you. And if you feel like I did my job on this video, give me a thumbs up, come subscribe to this channel for more content just like this. I put out new content every single week. My final message for you in closing off this video is go out there and take some action. take this information and really take it to heart and take some action. I would say that's the number one thing that really separates my audience from everyone else's out there on YouTube, is that we are action takers. We're willing to ethically impact the world for the positive. And we also have the gumption, we have the grit to be able to push through obstacles, take action on our ideas, and not just have them be ideas that end up in our head, but really that end up in the real world. So if you're like that, go and take some action this week. Hope you enjoyed this video. My name is Salvador Briggman, and I will see you next time.